Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Oh, oh my God.
I
The
don't know why
audio.
my MacBook zooms me in so close.
Oh, I thought you were doing it on purpose. It looked really cool though and scary at the same.
It does it like automatically. I don't know how to change
No, I know. I was having the same thing. It's just like, but yours is really like you're out of space. Good to see you, Laura.
You too.
So, yeah, that's so funny. I don't know why. Now that it's so AI heavy,
Well, I don't really use Mac, and I got a MacBook a few weeks ago because my other computer just died, and so I don't know if that's part of it or if it's just yeah AI on Zoom that does it automatically, but I don't know how to change it, so that's just is what it is.
let me ask you a question. Did it tell you that I was recording this? Yeah, right? Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Yeah. Because it told me somebody else was recording this. So I think it's Tanya.
Yeah, it
Tanya.
looks like Tanya has the Fathom
Yeah, Tanya
note
has.
taker.
Tanya is very technologically forward.
I'm
Uh,
familiar with Fathom. I've had coaches that have used it, but I don't, other than that, I don't know too much about it.
I think there'll be about 12 people. So
Okay.
I wonder if there's a way, no, because I want to do a little heart coherence exercise.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna wait until everybody that's coming in is in,
Sure.
so no one, so no one's left out while we're in the void. So good week so far.
Yes. Can't complain.
Yeah,
I decided I'm going to start using my dad's response. Like when anyone asks how he's doing, he says, never been better. And so I'm going to start using that. Say, never been better.
that's a good one. I love when people say can't complain. I'm like, yeah, you can. Hey, Tanya.
Caught me. I was
Hey.
about to say that.
Good evening.
Oh.
The girls are winning the game. Girls are winning. There was the big UM game today for all those college football enthusiasts. But I was like, now with my group's gonna make it. Then
George, you do have one guy
I
here.
do, I know, I
I
know.
promised I would. I'm part of that group that's gonna watch the game, but I needed to be here early on. I promised you I would, so I'm here.
It's okay, you're
I appreciate you.
completely forgiven.
Hi, darling.
Hey, Brosie.
How are you? Look how beautiful it is.
Oh, California living.
Do you see that sun? Do you see it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Okay.
I am
Okay.
so pumped that everyone is trickling in here. Heather,
Yes.
how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Amazing. I can't wait till you guys start. I mean, you're all such special people in my life. I can't wait till everyone starts getting to know each other. We'll do a little introduction. It'll be painless. It won't be like you used to in high school. I promise you. Okay. Gianna, Maria, Tanya, excellent.
Okay, when you do it from like your computer, do you see everybody?
Yeah, there's different, you can do a gallery view.
Because on my phone, I just see whoever talks.
Yeah.
Okay. It'd be cool to see everybody.
Well, because you're on your phone, if you do a
Yeah.
gallery view, then you can see everybody.
Hmm.
I love seeing Tanya and then her note-taking system. She's very.
Uh, I
It's like
couldn't see it.
it's
I
like
was just looking at the gallery. It's right there. I
it's
see
like
the fathom.
we have them all. Hi, Maria.
My note taker.
Hi,
Hi, Jorge. How are you?
Mercedes. Excellent. Brian is here. Trying to think. Okay, we'll give it a couple of minutes. I mean, at this point, everybody knows the raising the hands and not raising the hands, right? I mean, we went through COVID, right? We became expert. Hi, Melissa. Said hi to everybody so far, right? Yeah.
No, you have not told me. Hi.
I said hi, Mercedes.
I didn't listen. Just kidding. Just kidding.
Work on that. Okay. Okay, Joanne. Excellent. Okay, you know what? Let's get things started. And as just I think a couple more people are going to trickle in, but we'll get things going. So, my name is Jorge Perez or George. I go by both, so don't feel compelled anyway that you're making a mistake. I'm so excited to have you guys here today for the first of the 12-week session of the STFU Mastermind. Okay. And a lot of you, raise your hand if you either finished the book or you just started the book or have any knowledge of the book. Okay. Awesome. Well, guess what? You'll be fine if you haven't too, because um, this book is a very, very powerful yet very common sense that will all unfold as the weeks go. And it won't be linear, it will be in different order. And we'll pick a topic every single day. And the topic that I wanted to pick for today is gratitude. Okay. And I'm going to go first. I already said my name. My name is Jorge Perez or George Perez. And what I'm really grateful for is the space and to be with you guys tonight. So I would love it if you just state your name and tell me something that you're grateful for.
I'll do. I'll go. My
Okay.
name is Rosie, and I've known Jorge for 30 years. And I am grateful for this book because it's become my Bible and it changed my life.
And we met when I was 5, by the way.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
And I was 2.
Just to clear it up. Thank you,
And I've
Rose.
read the book 6 times and I've listened to the audio 3 times.
All
And I
right.
still learn something new every time.
Wow.
And I'm not paying her, I swear to God. All
No,
right.
no.
Quite the testimonial.
Yeah,
Thank
when
you,
we used to
Rosie.
go out, I used to do this and everyone's like, "Are you getting paid?" I'm like, "No, I swear. I'm just trying to spread the magic."
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
anybody else? Your name and what you're grateful for. Something that you're grateful for.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, no, go ahead, Heather.
My name is Heather O'Neill, and I am grateful that I was able to, I have 2 businesses, and I'm grateful that I was able to clear my Monday nights to be able to attend this.
Fantastic. Thank you. I think I'm going to start calling out people so it's a little bit more succinct. So, Laura, why don't you go next?
Hi everyone, my name's Laura, and I am very grateful that Jorge reached out to me about this opportunity for the mastermind and coaching, and I'm super happy to be here.
Awesome. Thank you, Laura. Tanya?
Hi, I'm Tanya, and I'm so grateful to you, Jorge, and like just to be able to have a container to kind of go deeper in and have accountability and just be in the energy of the mastermind.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Lena?
Hi, I'm Lynna. I'm happy to be here. I'm so grateful for the book that I'm almost done reading. It came to me right when I needed it, and it's been eye-opening. So thank you.
Thank you. Maria.
Hi, I'm Maria Juarez, and I'm grateful that I had a good day today. It was a good day.
Beautiful, beautiful. Gianna.
Hello, everybody. I am Gianna Lawrence Primus, and I am grateful for having a day of ease so that I could be very present for this session this evening. So I'm grateful to Jorge for the opportunity as well.
Thank you. Mercedes.
Well, I am Mercedes, and I am so grateful that I met my dear Jorge because he made your life exponential. I love his caring, his love for people, and I'm so excited to be here with all of you, amazing souls. So I'm very, very grateful.
Thank you. Gonzalo. He's the one watching the game. So we're gonna come back to him in a second. Melissa.
Maybe she has mute on.
Yeah, the mute. She's trying to press it. I can see it.
Yeah,
Oh.
sorry, I'm used to Teams, not Zoom. Yeah, grateful to have met you, Jorge, through a mutual friend just a week ago at the retreat. I'm grateful to be part of this. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Thank you.
George, I heard you, but I'm also used to Teams, so I couldn't find the unmute button at all. How are you?
I'm good, man. It looks like you're actually playing the game and not watching it.
No, no, not at all. No, I just wanted to come on the camera really quickly and say I'm very, very grateful just to be here with you guys, and very grateful to meet George and have his friendship as well too. He's one of like the few people that I know in my life that is very Christ-like, and what I mean by that is somebody that's humble, nice, and very genuine, and you don't find that anymore in this world. So I wanted to mention that. But yeah,
I second that. Yep.
Thank you,
yeah,
brother.
anytime.
Mr. Brian.
Hi, Jorge. How are you? So my name is Brian Nuesi. I'm very grateful for my family's good health and also my health. There was a point in my life where I got very sick, and I was also reading the book, and I know how hard it is to overcome those type of adversities. And I'm very lucky that my family is very healthy right now. Thank you.
Beautiful. And last but not least, Joylan.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Joylan, and I'm grateful for having this opportunity to meet everyone and George for reaching out. I gotta be honest, I haven't got the time to read the book because I've been busy with my personal stuff, but I will start reading it very soon. But thank you all for this time.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, guys. So what I would love to invite you to do, and we could all do it together as a group collectively, is that I want us to do a little coherence, heart coherence exercise. It's going to be about 2 minutes. My only request is that if we all go in and close our eyes, and I'll guide you, it'll be painless and it'll be really relaxing and fun. All right. So if you're sitting on a chair, just sit up, make yourself comfortable. All right. And now close your eyes. And let's take 3 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Okay, I'll count them out. 1, 2, 3. Now, keeping your eyes closed, I want you to put your attention to the center of your heart. Feel your beautiful heart. See it. And now start seeing a beautiful golden dot, a light that awakens in your heart. I want you to see and feel this beautiful golden light start to grow inside your heart, feeling the warmth, feeling the love of your heart that's been with you every step of the way. This beautiful light now starts to leave your heart and it starts to go into the rest of your body, all your organs, your cells, your lungs, your legs, your feet, your head. This beautiful golden light is creating peace, love, and coherence and health all over your body. Now, I want you to see this golden light go out into the rooms of your homes or wherever you are. This beautiful golden light is creating peace and harmony and coherence all around you. This beautiful golden light now starts to leave and go into your city, creating love and peace everywhere it touches, creating compassion, creating empathy for everyone and with everyone. This beautiful light now goes to our country, creating peace in our country, creating understanding, creating love. Now I want you to see this beautiful golden light covering the whole entire planet, creating love in the planet, creating coherence, creating peace all over the planet. Now I want you to see this golden light go into the universe, covering all the rest of the planets, going into the stars, which is what we are. We're all made of stardust. Feel this beautiful golden light, creating peace within yourselves and within our world. Now this beautiful golden light comes right back into your heart and it starts to pulsate all over your heart. Now we're going to take 3 deep breaths again, in through your nose and out through your mouth. 1, 2, 3. And now slowly, very slowly, open your eyes. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. The first thing that I wanted to do, and I really want this mastermind to be a collective dialogue for everyone to share, because I believe that as we're all in this space together collectively, things that I'm going through, Laura might be able to help, or she's going through. So we're going to create like a forum of amazing conversations and really giving back. I did want to kind of just go into rather quickly just the story of the book, which is, most of you know if you read the book, obviously my parents did pass away from cancer, which pretty back to back, which made me really get into the topics of epigenetics, which is what stress does to the body. And I came across the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, which I'm sure a lot of you know who he is, right?
Yeah.
And I started working with Dr. Joe, became enamored with his work, and really understood that we're not doomed by our genes, meaning that we can have some sort of genetic predisposition, but if we're not driving our bodies through too much of a stress and fight or flight, essentially we're not going to activate those predispositions, right? I also then started obviously thinking about my parents and how they lived. And my dad had a lot of anger about what happened to Venezuela and how the government collapsed. And my mom had her trauma. And I started noticing how much they would talk about their problems and how they probably very innocently kept activating their stress levels and therefore lower their immune system. And here comes stress. But the actual genesis of the book happened my first time volunteering, where I was watching Dr. Joe on stage talking about what you put your attention on, energy grows, right? And then we went on break. And then I caught this perfect glimpse of like some of the staff complaining and gossiping, and the volunteers also, and the participants complaining. And I remember thinking like, oh my God, like nobody's doing what he's telling you to do. What are they doing here? And as a joke, I told one of his number one person, I'm like, this is you guys are not doing this thing right. No one's doing anything he's telling you to do. And she kind of jokingly said, "Well, what are you going to do about it?" And I was like, "I'm going to write a book and it's going to be called Shut the Fuck Up." And that was the genesis of the book. Okay. It started out just really figuring out that there was a glitch in how I believe we operate, which is we can go to all the retreats in the world that we want. We can go to be in therapy forever, do all the plant medicine forever. But if we don't stop the addiction that we have to complaining, then we're never going to truly transform. So I always give the example of like, it's almost like you can go to all the best boot camps in the world, right? But if you're eating a huge pizza before bed every night, it's not going to really matter. I mean, you might not become obese, but you're not going to get into the shape that you're working so hard for. So just like we have to shut our mouth and not eat that pizza, we have to shut our mouth and really stop the addiction to complaining. Okay. This work is an invitation and it's by no means a mandate. This is something that I personally experienced really works for me and has worked for a lot of people that have read the book. And I'm really excited to create a forum about this and yeah, and to get things going. Would anyone like to share what they think about what I just said, about their experience with the addiction of complaining?
I'll share.
Okay.
Um, I kind of love this visual of like shutting your mouth every time like something wants to come out. So instead of like feeding ourselves positivity and like being conscious of what we're consuming, we're also being conscious of like what's coming out of us. So it's like this cyclical thing where everyone's like, "Oh, be careful of your words. You're cursing yourself and all that." But then there's like this moment where you shut your mouth and you actually change what's coming out of your mouth because that is going to go right back into your system. So like we're constantly like feeding ourselves is what I'm getting and maybe we're like feeding ourselves too much, which is through complaining. And that's why, I feel like disempowered or unmotivated, and stressed. And it's just like one trickle thought kind of like leads to all these other webs. So it's not even one complaint. It ends up being this tree. And I'm not really even complaining to anyone else but myself. And it ends up becoming very overwhelming. So.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Heather?
It's funny because this actually is something that happened to me yesterday, and I started reading your book, Jorge, and like it was right before I was leaving for a holiday, and I've since come back to the book, but I caught myself yesterday, and I was like I was in slow motion in a train wreck, with the words coming out of my mouth, complaining about a person and then actually mentioning their name. And it brought me right back to the book. And it made me realize what I was doing. And because I was complaining to a person about another person, and wouldn't have had that recognition. I mean, maybe I would, I don't know, but I really had that recognition in the process of telling the story of something. And I immediately like just stopped telling the story. And my friend said, "Aren't you gonna like what are you doing? Aren't you gonna finish?" I was like, "No, sorry, I can't finish the story." And I didn't explain why. It was just a very odd moment. But anyway, it was literally bringing me back to like, like rule number one.
Yeah.
Commandment.
Yeah. For all of you
Anyway.
guys that don't know, like, listen, I'm not even saying not to, continue the juicy stories in life, right? Because like you got to tell stories, but I say like, just don't use their name, use my friend. And it's a little wonky at first when you're telling stories, and we're very innocently say it's like, oh my God, my friend Maria. But that's the new habit that we're having, right? That we're not incriminating anybody through stories anymore. So you'll just say, like, my friend. And what I love after a while, like I'm telling you, it's going to be wonky at first because we're so used to giving names and people are so used to waiting for us to give names that now I'm very proud to say that I've trained my friends where, like, when I'm telling a story, like I was telling a friend, oh my God, I'm staying with my friend in LA and him and his girlfriend just broke up. And it's like, I'm staying with him the day she's moving out. And no one even asked me who it is anymore. And that's the beautiful thing that you're essentially training your environment to keep that integrity that you want to have. So thank you for sharing that, Heather. I wanted to expand on that, but yeah, it starts to take over. Anybody else?
I'll go.
Yeah, Lena.
Yeah, I wanted to say I started reading your book about a week ago and I'm almost done with it. And I'm very conscious now of what I say, but I did note when I was reading last night, there was a part that said you will be challenged. And so I was hanging out with a friend this past week, and of course, another friend came up, and it was a challenge, and how not to engage when somebody else starts it, and the awkwardness involved with that. But um, it's amazing how aware you become after reading the book. So I think it's only going to get better.
Absolutely. And then enters commandment number two. When you enter a conversation when there's gossip, you're just going to add, I hear you, or wow, or no way, or, like, because I do believe in, by the way, I'm a huge advocate for listening to people. I think listening is, that's the one thing we all want, right? We want to get gotten. And and yet, there's a way that we can listen and not jumping in the bashing. And that, again, that starts to take over as well, a little bit after, you're really practicing commandment number one. So thank you for that. Anybody else?
I'll go.
Great. Tell me, Rosie.
Well, ever since I read your book 2 years ago, I just used to say whatever was on my mind. I'm just very forward and like a straight shooter, but at times it came off very abrasive, sometimes I think, and too much. And I think that right now I feel like I'm in a movie. Every time I go anywhere, from the gas station to like friends to a party, I think hard before I say anything, and it alleviates, and it's kindness, coming from kindness, and it just alleviates any negativity. And to be honest with you, anytime somebody starts gossiping, because we like to chime in and be like, I know that too, and I know this about the, I just say, you know what? I read this book. That's amazing. You should try it, because there's no sense in talking about it. If you have an issue, go directly to the person and talk to one person. But because if you talk to six people, like you said, you're going to have to repeat it and go through the negativity six times to repeat everything to everybody that you told the story to and relive it. And that's just putting negative energy out, because it's all about energy. So it just has helped me be kind and really, really think hard before I say anything to anyone. And it's been very helpful with my relation with my parents, with my friends, with just everybody. It's just all around has really helped me a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. So what I like to describe, let's think about it like a three-step process. Okay. So we have our beliefs, our thoughts, and our word. In my experience, I don't know about you guys, but I can't really control what I believe or what I think, right? Thoughts come in and out, but I can control what I say. So what this method does is we go backwards. We stop the word, which minimizes the thought, and then eradicates the belief. And I always say, listen, it's even more important to pay attention to what you say, especially when no one's listening. Okay. Because when that telemarketer calls and you're hanging up the phone, or your mom said something snarky and you're hanging up the phone and no one's there to listen, you go, what an idiot, right? Or whatever it is, like that is the moment. That is the moment where you like alchemize that word and you leave it blank. Have you guys ever been in a situation where, like, you're talking to a friend and somebody like interrupts you or says something really off, and then that person leave, and then the two of you go, "What a jerk," or something like that. Like that is the moment, guys. That's where you put this stuff to work, and it works. Just like that person will give you a look, and you just go to the next topic. Okay. Anybody else wants to add to this conversation?
Hey, Jorge, if I can
Yeah,
jump,
of course.
what what I've been picking up from our conversations, and then obviously the concept of the book is, I find that it's helping me neutralize my internal system, my internal environment, in that I catch myself before I even let the thought fully formalize, when I recognize like there's negative self-talk that's coming up. And obviously, when in conversation with someone else, I find myself just a bit more conscious of how I frame what the story is that I'm telling if there's another person. So for me, I would say there's just a increased level of consciousness in not complaining or not participating in anything that's gossip.
Beautiful. Perfect. And by the way, complaining doesn't, when you get a wrong order where you're having an issue with your boss or your coworker, going to the source is not complaining, right? Like you can go to the boss, go to your brother, your sister, and be like, "This is not working for me." What I'm talking about is when we go around saying that we have that issue with that person, right? And then inevitably, when we say that, it starts to grow because where we put our attention, energy grows. So I always say that when I meet somebody that I don't like, the first thing that I say to myself is, I'm gonna be so wrong about you. I'm gonna be so wrong about you. I'm gonna, I froze here for a little bit. Yeah, I'm back. I'm gonna like consider that I don't know what's happening in your home life. I don't know if your mom just got diagnosed with something. I don't know culturally how you were raised, how genetically wired you came. You know what I mean? It's almost like you have an onion that if you keep peeling, you're gonna end up with nothing. So there's no point in me going down that rabbit hole. And man, and if in 9 out of 10, someone comes in and they don't say hi, and I don't go into that rabbit hole, and I just go, you know what? I don't know what they're going through, so I'm not gonna take it personal. 9 out of 10, that person comes back to me and tells me, "Hey, I'm sorry I didn't say hi. I was in a rush," and it's almost like the universe shows me this is how it works. Okay. So thank you for your share, Jana. Heather?
I just have a question as it
Mhm.
relates to complaining, and maybe I'm jumping too far. Please tell me to shut the fuck up. Um, but
I will.
when it comes to complaining, it's funny because as you said, it's hard to, it takes some adjustment and, being very conscious of your thoughts. But when it comes to yourself, and so like for instance, let's say, you just nothing's gone, things have not gone in the right direction, lots of glitches during the day, you're going to meet somebody and it's like, how was your day? How do you know?
Right,
You know,
right, right.
and
So,
so like how do so those reframing moments are challenging.
yeah.
When you're talking specifically about yourself to another person, they're challenging to reframe that that idea of like, and it's like you don't also want to be like weird about it. So I don't know. I'm excited to learn more about that too. So anyway, I
Yeah,
just
I see what you're saying. Let me ask Maria, how would you reframe if you're having a day? How would you reframe it? And I'm like, hey Maria, how's it going?
Well, typically right now I'm working on reframing my initial answer because my initial answer has been for the past 2 years, I'm doing okay.
Uh-huh.
And so I've been working on reframing, saying that. If I came in and I had a bad day and someone asked me, how was your day? And I know that my day was bad. Um, I I think the way that I would reframe it is that I may say it was not so great, but I would change the subject. And that was something my husband and I used to do a lot. We would come in and ask how our days were, but we didn't really get into work talk. Like once we hit the house, it was home talk, unless someone needed to vent. But even at that, it was just listening and then, okay, now let's have dinner, So I think I don't know how that like to define reframing that, but I think really it's just kind of not giving that energy or giving that attention to maybe it's what it was that was negative throughout the day, trying to like let it go in your
Yeah.
personal space
Yeah.
and then revisit it tomorrow when you go back to work, but just don't carry it with you.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Anybody else wants to take a crack on reframing?
Well, I've been saying I've had so many wonderful days. Today's just not one of them, but I'm sure everything will, as it always does, everything's going to turn around and everything will be great. It just kind of keeps it, light, and I don't go into complaining because half of the time when you complain, if you just fix the situation yourself and don't even talk about it, it resolves itself all the time.
Yeah, yeah. It's a delicate space, right? Between having integrity and meaning like not lying, but also leaving room for possibilities, right? So Heather, I think it's a fine dance between like how's life today? Life's lifey. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah,
right?
life's life.
Life's lifey, and I look forward to great prospects that I have ahead. In the book, I talk about, listen, if you got $5 in your bank account, like you don't have to go screaming that you're rich, but you also don't have to call everyone you know and tell them that you're broke either. Somebody can be like, hey, Jorge, how's the whole money thing going? How's the business? You know what? There's some good prospects, and I'm really looking forward to some new possibilities. Oh, really? But how's that deal that you've been working on that you're supposed to be rich by now? You're like, you know what? Yeah, it's still like sorting itself out, but I'm really excited about, life's never failed me before. So statistically, it's impossible. So how can one speak with integrity, right? Because you don't want to feel like you're lying, but you also want to leave room for possibility, right? What do you hear in that, Joylan?
I mean, coming from a Hispanic background, we hear like a lot of negativity. I want to say it like that. And being training myself, I want to say going forward
Hmm.
to a more positive mind, it's been quite a challenge. But nothing is impossible. There's always a space, like you said, for growth and changing and reflecting, and that's my goal from now.
Yeah. And that's actually commandment number 4, where I talk about you can talk about your problems, but with compassion, right? To always leave
Absolutely.
that room for the possibility of like, but you know what? Like not too long ago, my dog was doing really bad and I didn't want to lie. People are like, so what's going on? You know what? His health's not doing that great, and yet, he's 14, and God, I've been so blessed that he's given me so many years, and it's not the end of the road, and I'm just so grateful. So it's like, how can we play with language and have integrity and leave room for possibility? So thank you for sharing that. Brian, do you have any thoughts? I'm gonna be that teacher that just picks up people. I like it this way.
I just feel like I have been aligned to a lot of it, and but now I'm more aware of what I'm actually doing. I'm the type of person that never really complains or gossips about anything, but now I'm even like more reserved with the kind of words that I utilize in any topic. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Gonzalo, did we lose you? Are you at the game or are you here?
I'm here. I'm here. I'm totally here. Um, I
Tell me.
second this. I second the same thing too. Like I've stopped saying like when I have issues or I make a mistake, I say, "Oh, I used to say I'm stupid or I'm an idiot." And the other day I caught myself saying, "Oh, I'm an idiot," and I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not an idiot. Like it's just the words that we use, and how we use it really, really matters. So it's definitely been helpful to just kind of change the mindset a little bit.
Beautiful. Mercedes, you're on mute.
Okay. Now, I always was a very positive person, and I never wanted to share what I was going through. Being a life coach, you always have to put your best face. But reading your book and listen to all of you, it's very important to acknowledge how you're feeling, but seeing it from a very positive perspective and knowing that everything that you're going through is to raise you up, not to destroy you. So you can add that, and I love it that you are, and everybody here is reminding me of how to say, because the first things that comes out of my mind. How are you doing, Mercedes? I am fantastic, blessed, and excited about life. And maybe I am feeling like shit sometimes, but I don't say it. And now I'm gonna start using, yeah. I have a lot of beautiful days, but today is one of those days that I'm learning how to be more aware or to be present. So thank you guys. Thank you, Jorge.
Yeah, no. And again, and there's no right or wrong answer. It's just how can we reframe and alchemize and then respond, right? And whatever comes out is perfect. And yet this is a muscle that you keep working. And trust me, it's almost like perspective hits you before you even speak. And then you're like, you know what? Things are really not that bad at all. Gianna, did you raise your hand? No, I just think.
I do have a question.
Okay, great. Oh my God, somebody's using this right.
And my question is, can you share with me your understanding or definition of alchemize? Because I feel that I'm still trying to fully grasp the meaning and understanding of alchemizing and when I do it.
Yeah, so I love using that term alchemizing, right? And alchemizing
Can I
is
say
in
hi,
my ex-
Nicholas?
in my experience is just shortening the refractory period of upset, right?
Nice to meet you.
So for example, if somebody's coming and they're being rude to you, right? It's that moment before you react back, then you go, you know what? I don't know what kind of day you're having, and yeah, I'm not gonna react, right? So I'm not so and again, I don't know. I am gonna towards the end of the call, this is what I definitely suggest, and I'm telling you guys, this is the biggest game changer of the world. If you take on a meditation practice, what it's gonna do, it's gonna rewire your nervous system so that your triggers are gonna get so much shorter and less happening. It's gonna really the alchemization process is gonna be a lot easier. So yeah, like when I say that when someone comes with me to me and they're triggered, my alchemization is basically not being triggered back in my response. And you know what? And if you get triggered, you get triggered. Nothing wrong with that. But how long are you gonna stay triggered for, right? Maybe it's a couple minutes and not a day, not a week, not a year. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes, yes, it does. Thank you. I appreciate the examples that you
No,
shared.
no, for sure. I also wanted to bring this in. I used this example in the book. I had a situation where I was with my friend and we were going to a brunch and I stopped at a liquor store really quick. He was in the car texting and I'm like, "Hey, I'll be right back in 5 minutes." And I go in and I get a bottle and I'm right as I'm about to get in front of the clerk, a little cute little old lady gets in front of me and she had a whole bag filled with stuff and I'm like, what was supposed to be 5 minutes was now taking 30 minutes, right? And I'm just like, this is hilarious. This is of course, this is what happened. And it got to the point where like they were like having a conversation over the bottle price. The clerk was like, I'm gonna go to the back and check if the number's right. And I just like I'm watching this whole thing like a tennis match, and I explode, and I was like, "I'll pay for a whole bill," and like everybody looked at me like I was insane. And then I knew that that was my moment. I was like, you know what? Great. This is my training, right? This is my spiritual practice to shut the fuck. Just I'm just gonna wait for my turn. Finally, 30 minutes went by. I got back to my car. My friend was sitting down. He didn't even notice I was gone. And what did you think was the first thing that I wanted to do? I wanted to tell him about the freaking cute little old lady that got in front of me, and at 5 minutes went to 30. But in that moment, you guys, it was like a download. I was like, oh my God, this is how the nervous system goes. If I would have just dumped the whole story again, then I'm like saturating myself with all that cortisol and adrenaline, basically reliving that experience, telling him the whole story. And then, of course, then I get the high from like, oh my God, and telling the whole story about how I needed to wait and all that. And then guess what happens? And I saw it, it was like a vision I saw. Then the nervous system is going to go up and then it's going to come down. But then in 2 hours from now, that nervous system that I've trained to have all those roller coasters is going to ask for another situation to come back to get me there again. So at that moment, I looked at my friend, I grabbed the steering wheel, and I was like, let's go. And I knew in that moment I was going through emotional detox. And that's what I mean also by the alchemizing, right? Because my commitment is not to keep going through these roller coasters anymore of emotions. So whether you like it or not, I'm here to burst your bubble that we're all emotionally addicted to our lives. Everything that happens to us, right? Think about like people that you have issues with. You have the same issue with different people, and then you call it, no, I'm just very territorial. No, you're not. It happened once and you kept saying it, and then it became part of your personality. But all these things are made up. Does that make sense? So the more that we catch ourselves in those moments and recognize them, and like, you know what? I'm not gonna give into literally like a drug addict that goes to rehab. We have to go through our own emotional rehab of complaining. Does anyone want to share what they think about that?
But Jorge, in your book, you also say you can complain. You can have one or two to-go people that you actually can vent. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just not gossiping and repeating it to like various because we all have to just talk to that one person
Yeah,
that we
exactly.
can actually say my day sucked and this and that and just not feel like, I'm not being mindful, I'm not being positive. It's like, but not just, to five people, but just that one person, right?
Very, very good. Rosie, as you know, a great reader of the book. The commandment number three is actually, yes, that if you have a problem, tell one person or just your therapist. And when I say one, it could be two or three or four, but not 20, not 30, not the Uber driver, not everybody that we just want to dump our stuff on. So how can we keep a container, right? And shorten the network of conversations over the things that we don't like. So thank you for bringing up commandment number three, Rosie.
Oh,
Laura, did you want to say something?
Yeah, just kind of tagging off of what Rosie was saying. I was just thinking about how, you were talking in the beginning about your parents and, them talking about all their stressors and that leading to health conditions. I just been reflecting because growing up for me, my dad always kind of referred to me as like never complain, never explain was the phrase that he said. Like I was very quiet. Both my parents were very like loud, outspoken, and so like for me, I kind of grew up like kind of like I don't know if he's still here. Brian was saying like just not really like complaining much. But I feel like you can look at it both ways because if you're not complaining, or venting to that like one or two people that you choose, if you're holding it in, then that could also lead to, you know, stress and health problems later on. So I just thought I like how you have in the book, that it's important to choose, one or two people that you want to confide in to share your, vent or however you want to phrase it, vent or complain so that you do let it out, but not telling every single person that you come across because then it's just expanding on that negativity. So I just,
Beautiful,
yeah, wanted to
beautiful.
share that.
Yeah, and you know what also really works, and I talk about it in the book, is when you pick that one person, tell that person you're gonna be my one person. I'm telling you guys, the kind of
They'll be
listening
honored.
they like they're all ears on you, and you sort yourself out. And I have a story which that happened to me. I called like three friends, no one was picking up, and I was like, oh God, I need new friends. Finally, one called me back, and I'm like, I told her, I was like, you're gonna be my one person, and she was like ordained, right? Like here I am, and I said, and I cried, and I had a safe space and the whole thing. And then the other two friends called me back, and I actually said, hey, you know what? I'm good, man. I have this thing where I only tell one person, and I already did it. And but thank you so much for calling. And of course, they were like, "Are you sure? You know what?" And I was like, "No, I'm sure." And then now I'm like double happy, right? Because I'm practicing what I preached, and we lead by example, right? So now I'm like planting little seeds on also inviting people to have a container when it comes to complaining about people, right? Because, like I said, yes, this is not about repressing or suppressing. This is just about mindfulness. So, Joylan and then Tanya.
Yes, I would like to add something to that. And if you see yourself complaining to certain people, trust me, you're surrounded by the wrong people because everyone likes to complain. So that means that there's a change to be made in your surroundings. That's what I want to add.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. And if somebody's always complaining about somebody else, for me, what it did is just then I know that I don't feel safe around you telling you anything, because if you're telling me other people's stuff, and by the way, I'm not judging those people. I love them to death, but after a while, there was nothing left to say. You go into a special compartment now in my life, and I wouldn't even say it's sad. There's people that I love to death that I'll kicky it up with them, but I know exactly what not to say, which is anything that's personal. Tanya?
I was gonna say that I learned that women are basketers. So we're like constantly gathering information throughout our day, and then we want to go home and unload our basket. So naturally, we have this instinct to unload our basket, and that may look like venting, that may look like complaining. But the interesting adjustment here is, yeah, you can like unload with one person. It doesn't have to be so many different people, and having like a safe vault and a safe space to share is really helpful. And related to my life, when people ask me, how are you or how are you doing? My instinct is to go to be honest. And last night I realized I was like, I don't actually have to like create a whole story for everybody, but this kind of like brief, I say it's like a metaphorical general response, because you don't need to go into the whole story. You don't need to share what's going on with everybody. They're doing a wellness check, but it doesn't necessarily have to be all the details. So I'm super, super honest. And I'm like, I was feeling really internal, and I was like taking care of my mental health, and I was moving through some feelings, or like I was in my feels. And so I don't go into like the details of what's going on unless like it's my safe net. And they're genuinely there to like mastermind with me or like reflect with me. So that's been really helpful, because I always feel like I have to pretend like, oh no, everything is fine. Like, no, I'm not feeling shitty inside, or no, that's not why I didn't go out. Like, I was just tired, but I wanted to be like authentic, because people are always authentic with me. They're like always sharing where they're at. So I want to be able to match that, but not necessarily have to go into details.
Very good. Very
Yeah, I
good.
mean, excuse one thing. I was always honest, and it was exhausting because I would just, whatever happened in the beginning of the day that set me off, I would tell that to every single person and relive that negative experience. And it would just exhaust me. And then those people would call me 2 days later, and I have to tell them what happened now in return of what the story I told them. And I relived the whole thing all over again. Now I go to that one safe friend, I get it all done, or I go directly to the person that I'm having issues with. That to me is the key thing, because that's the only person that you can actually get whatever's the problem is fixed. And then it's just done. You nip it in the bud and it's done. But it's just so helpful not to relive that negative experience by repeating it to too many people. It's just even more so for yourself is just so much healthier, I think, and less just stress. Because, like Jorge said in the book, 73% of us are in flight or fight mode, which is what causes diseases.
So true.
So when you're
70% people are
repeating this
right.
story, you're always like, in havoc and like in this like worked up space if it's negative, and then you just kind of constantly are just like in this upheaval. So I find that practicing everything that Jorge has taught me in the book has really brought me to a really calm space.
Mm.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Rosie. Heather?
I love what everybody is saying. And Tanya, like, to your point, I totally resonate with what you're saying. Um, over the last few years, well, the last 4 years, I've been doing a lot of like self work and met Jorge at a Joe Dispenza event, and so I've changed so much dramatically in a way that like my friends have changed. I thought it was going to be a very painful process. I have some of the same friends, but a lot of the friends that I would, the girls, we go out and I've kind of just, and it wasn't like I'm not your friend anymore. It just kind of like dissolved because I realized too that also one of the things that I think bonded us as friends was gossip and complaining. And there's a sense of bonding that comes from that. And it feels, you feel all the chemical reactions to your point, Jorge. You feel all the chemical reactions that are happening, and it's very exciting and it's very adrenaline rushing and it's very, but the aftermath of that, people, the words hurt and they can hurt. And so, I feel like there is a false sense of bonding when it comes to complaining and incorporating human other like names involved with that. It's not a real sense of bonding.
Yeah, very good.
It,
Very well
it's
said.
so that is so true. Yeah. And Jorge said in his book, like you don't need, like you said, you don't need to say I'm not your friend. You just kind of they fizzle out. And then like you said, Jorge, just remember them with the good memories and put them in a folder, like mentally.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Maria.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, kind of piggybacking on what Heather said. I I feel like we're conditioned, to complain from when we're very small, whether it's in our households or it's happening in school or we're just seeing it on TV. Because even like the PG shows that kids watch, the characters are complaining. It's just something that we're constantly doing. But I also own a business, and so I try to stay very solutions oriented all the time. And so I try to also kind of come at that just in my personal life as well. So if there's something that was an issue for me or I want to complain about, if there's not a solution, then and it's something I can't control, then I try not to give it any energy. But if I can control it, then there should be a solution. And so I try to keep myself in that solutions oriented mindset. So it kind of keeps me from complaining. Um, because I'm always looking for the solution or I can't control it. So
Yeah. And you know what's so in that's also like after a while, right? Because this is like you're getting your sea legs going. It's a little wonky at first, but guys, when you stop complaining about life or people, then you also stop complaining about yourself. So those hardcore, like I'm not good enough things that voice, what it does is it's not at a level 10 or 9 or 8, it goes down to a level 2 and you can deal with a level two. A level two is like a little toddler, and a little toddler that wants candy and he just had chocolate, and you're like, oh, honey, we're not gonna do this, Like, oh my God, I messed up, or like my boss, oh my God, he's mad at me, and you're like, no, That's not true. And then you find out your boss is got busy with his home life or whatever it is. So the way the kinder that we start being out there, the kinder that we start being to us. The more less critical that we are of, I'm telling you, even people's appearances, anything, the more that we have grace and compassion with us too. It's a practice that it's the gift that keeps on giving, you know? So I don't try to be a good person because I'm a good person. It's because I win and there are collateral advantages on this situation. So when I'm good to them, I'm good to me and everyone wins, you know? But again, it's a practice and it's been years that we've been programmed, but little by little, this crack on the wall, when you stop being mindful, you start being mindful and you stop complaining and you catch yourself. And if you do it, even if you do it and you catch yourself and listen, I have fun with it. Sometimes I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna be my book at all. And rah, I let it have. But now there's awareness. Now there's conscious. Now I'm conscious about it. So it's almost like this. It's like, I'm not saying never not to eat pizza, but what if you have it every like 3 weeks or every 2 weeks, but you're not having it every day? So if complaining or gossiping is just something that you reduce that habit dramatically, oh my God, the ripple benefits from it are also going to be dramatic. Super, super dramatic. Awesome, guys. So, it's 7:58. I'm looking at the clock. This is what I invite you guys. I want to do a little uh let's call it a challenge or opportunity. We're going to come back here next week. And for this week, starting today, I want you to be really mindful of no complaining, no gossiping, no unnecessary negative storytelling. And how many of you guys have some sort of meditation practice?
I do. You gave it to me.
There you go. We're all winning here. Okay. So even if it's 5 minutes a day, if you don't have one, if you don't have time, that's not true. You can go on YouTube and you write 5 minutes guided stress, boom. That will start normalizing your nervous system and you're off to the races. The other thing that I want to invite you guys to do that, okay, I don't know if you guys, this is something that I created. You can do it on your own notebook. I mean, I do all sort of stuff. Look. I have like a $1 million bill here and like these fake hundreds. And every night before I go to bed, because in the morning and at night is when your subconscious, your brain's in theta, so you're highly suggestible. So if every morning what I do, I have this thing that I created called the GAF journal, which I
You
have.
guys get it. It's amazing. It's great.
So I
Game
have
changer.
gratitude, affirmations, and visualizations. 333. I wake up every morning after I do my meditation. Again, it could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, whatever your thing is. 3, 3, and 3, and you're off to the races. And you're gonna see that traffic, that conversation, things that used to hit you at a 10 now hit you so much lower. And that voice, right? That voice that's gonna be a long. Forget about a partner, man, a wife, a husband. That little voice is going to be with you every step of your life. Is the price that we have to pay for being conscious is that voice. So what we want to do is we want to dramatically lower that volume of that voice when that voice is telling us we're not good enough, it's never going to happen, you're never that lucky, here it comes again. We want to lower that voice and then raise the voice of yes, you can do it. Life is temporary. Millions of people would kill to be in your shoes. These are some of the commandments for all of you guys that haven't read it, because they are practical, they're pragmatic, and they're super, super simple. Another thing I wanted to give you guys as a gift for the next 3 months while we're in this mastermind together, if you go on my website, stfumethod.com, I've made the masterclass free. So you could it's a 12-minute masterclass. It goes through all the commandments and it's currently free for you guys. So you can enjoy it. And then another thing that I did today on the website is I created a documentary about my mom 2 weeks before she passed. And if you go on the site under mission, it's there. And she's just, she's
It's
amazing.
amazing. She's
Yeah,
amazing.
she
Yeah.
gives a really good perspective on life. It's right on my site, stfumethod.com. And I hope you enjoy it. I am so honored and I feel so privileged that you gave me your time today and that we're embarking on this journey together. You have all Every single one of you shared and have been amazing. And trust me, what you shared, what Maria shared, Laura got, then Gianna got, then Melissa understood. Like this is just a chain reaction of like-minded people. So go out there, have your intention of this week, just 1 week, and then be ready to report next week. How is your life without complaining, without using names? Limiting the number of people you tell, pick that one person. If you have one issue, tell that person you're my one person and have an amazing week. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Jorge.
Thank you
Thank you,
guys.
brother.
Thank
Have a
you.
great week,
Bye, guys.
everybody.
Have a
Have a
great
great
week.
week.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye, guys.
Bye.